Hey, welcome back to ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan, and this is everything you need to know before watching Squid Game Season 2. So Sung is a compulsive gambler who lives with his mother. He's also kind of a deadbeat dad and husband who is now estranged from his wife and daughter, who are about to move to the US with his ex-wife's new husband. Sung has some massive debts to some very dangerous people. In a train station, Sung is approached by a man who offers to play a game with him that could earn him some money. Now after this game, the man invites Sung to play even more games with an even higher payday. But what he fails to mention is that there are much higher consequences than a slap when you lose. When Sung is picked up to attend the games, he is hit with a knockout gas. He then wakes up in a large room filled up with bunk beds and other players. Each player is wearing a green jumpsuit with a number on them. Sung is number 456, the final player. The Squid Game staff then arrives wearing pink jumpsuits and masks with shapes on them. The squares, triangles, and circles distinguish ranks, with squares being at the top and circles being at the bottom. These pink jumpsuiters all work under the Dr. Doom wannabe, the front man. Sung makes friends with an old man, player number 1. He's suffering from a brain tumor that impairs his memory. Sung sees two other players that he recognizes: Cho Song-woo, a friend from his childhood who is now a broker, as well as player 67, a pickpocket he encountered earlier in the episode when he was fleeing from debt collectors. And after colliding with her, she stole his winnings from a horse race wager. We're then introduced to the first game, Red Light, Green Light. Anyone caught moving by this giant robot doll while the light is red is shot dead. Many of the players freak out and run for the door, and they too are all shot dead. The remaining players continue the game, and the old man in particular seems to be having a good time. With the help of player 199 and Song-woo, Sung is able to survive the game. Once the game is complete and players return to the holding room, there is mass hysteria, and many players demand to be released and sent back home. A vote is held amongst the players, and by a single vote margin, the players are released from the games. Sung goes to the police to report what just happened, but of course, no one believes him. We then meet Detective Jung-jae, who overhears these claims and believes them because his brother has been missing and received the same card that Sung brought to the police. But after that, it gets even weirder.
Sigh.
Oh, what's wrong, buddy?
Well, to be honest, person, I don't like the holidays that much. I always gotta go visit my dad, but I don't think he really likes me.
I'm sure your dad likes you.
No, he's right. I don't like him very much.
That's pretty cold, man. Why are you on your phone right now?
I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus.
Doug, that's perfect. If you want to get close to your dad during the holidays, you guys should have a common interest. You should start playing Warhammer 40,000.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it is a ton of fun. It is a turn-based tactical strategy game set in the eternal conflict of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. You can assemble more than 70 legendary Warhammer 40,000 champions from 17 playable factions. The game also has several modes like PvE campaigns, PvP, live events, guild raids, and much more. Plus, they're always updating with fresh content, new game modes, and events. Like this December, the famous Red Gobbo appears in Tacticus in time for Grotmas. This game is a great chance to meet a community of other gamers and Warhammer fans, like your dad.
Uh-huh, that's right.
So is it complicated to play?
Well, I don't think so. The game's great because you fight lightning-fast tactical skirmishes, and only superior tactics can achieve victory. You can expand your collection across multiple factions, so you can always find new tactical possibilities, and the game never gets old. And you can collaborate with other players to strategize in high-stakes battles.
Wow, and Dad, you like to play that? Can I join your guild, Dad?
Sure thing, son.
Wow, thank you, Warhammer 40,000, for bringing me and my father closer together during the holidays.
So right now, if you scan this QR code and use the gift code HAPPYDEC, you will receive 2,000 gold and 50 Blackstone, available until January 1st. Now, back to what I was saying. Soon the players are invited once more to resume the games. Many of them return because they are so desperately in need of money. Remember, this series is all about the exploitation of those living in poverty, and it's a commentary on the current conditions and class disparity happening all around the globe. The players represent the working poor, while the games represent the wealthy elite and their exploitation of working people. Sung, despite voting to end the games, decides to rejoin because his mother is in need of surgery. Player 1 also decides to re-enter because he's dying and has nothing else to lose. Player 67 re-enters because she's trying to get her family out of North Korea, and Sang-woo is about to be arrested for fraud. Jung-jae sneaks his way onto the boat to the secluded island where the games occur. Once the players awake, once again in the dormitory, we see alliances begin to form. We then begin the second game.
설탕 뽑기입니다. 10분 안에 주어진 모양을 깨끗이 잘라내면 통과입니다.
Sung ends with the most difficult shape of the game, the umbrella. As cookies break throughout the room, many players are shot, but Sung figures out a way to win by licking the honeycomb from behind and dissolving the layers. In the chaos, we see a player grab a gun from one of the guards and force him to remove his mask. Upon realizing that the guard is just a young man, the player turns the gun on himself. The front man then enters and kills the guard for removing his mask. Back in the dormitory, Deok-soo kills a fellow player, and when this happens, we see the prize money increase, just like it does when a player dies in the games. Not only do the guards do nothing to stop the players from killing one another, they're essentially encouraging it. So the third game is tug of war. The old man informs Sung and the team of a strategy to win, despite them being physically the weaker team. The front man becomes aware of the intruder Jun-ho and his presence at the facility. He then orders a manhunt to find the intruder. In Jun-ho's investigation, he discovers that his brother was the winner of a previous game. We're then introduced to the fourth game, Marbles.
지금 여러분의 옆에 있는 짝과 시합을 벌여 상대의 구슬 10개를 모두 따내는 사람이 승리합니다.
Sung and the old man are paired for this game, not knowing they were going to have to play against one another. Sung, despite his admiration and respect for the old man, decides to exploit his dementia. It's then revealed that the old man was aware that Sung cheated. To this point, the entire series has been about good guys like Sung rising above the brutality of the other players, bucking the narrative the Squid Games were trying to create. But now, Sung has been broken by the games and ultimately betrayed his friend in order to save his own life. We then have the arrival of the VIPs, wealthy men who have been remotely watching the games for their own entertainment, and they are now here to watch the games live and in person. The players are then ushered in for the fifth game. They're a series of mannequins with vests numbered 1 through 16. Sung takes a long time to decide which vest he will take and winds up having to take the last vest, vest 16. But this works to his advantage because the game is the glass bridge.
앞에 보이는 한 쌍의 유리는 두 가지 유리, 강화 유리와 일반 유리로 되어 있습니다. 반대편까지 무사히 건너가면 통과입니다.
Naturally, those at the front of the line are the first to fall to their deaths. Player 101, who's been causing trouble from the start of the series, he's now at the front of the line and refuses to jump to the next square. Player 212 then steps in and settles her long-running beef with 101.
나 배신하면 죽는다고 했지.
Player 17 turns out to be a glass worker, and he can actually tell the difference between the sturdy panels and the breakable panels, but the front man catches on quickly and shuts off the lights. As 17 refuses to move forward, Song-woo pushes 17, who hits the breakable panel and falls to his death. So this was the final breakable panel, allowing for Song-woo, Sung, and player 67, aka Se-byok, to clear the bridge. The panels then explode, sending glass flying, and a shard of glass hits Se-byok in her side. The three finalists are invited to a formal dinner. After they eat and their plates are taken away, the guards leave behind a steak knife with each player to take back with them to the dormitory. Sung floats the idea of teaming up and taking down Song-woo to Se-byok. Se-byok, who is succumbing to her fatal wound, asks Sung to promise that if he wins the games, he'll take care of her family. After being convinced to not kill Song-woo, Sung realizes that Se-byok is injured and he calls for help. While at the door begging for help, Song-woo makes his way to Se-byok and kills her. Sung attempts to attack Song-woo, but he is stopped by the guards because they need their final two players for the last game. Elsewhere, Jun-ho has escaped the facility, but he is tracked down by the front man and his goons. The front man then reveals to Jun that he is, in fact, his missing brother.
What?
The front man attempts to recruit his brother, but Jun-ho refuses, so the front man shoots him and Jun falls off a cliff into the ocean. We then enter the final game, the Squid Game.
우리 동네에선 그 노래를 오징어라고 불렀다.
Sung bests his old friend Song-woo after having a battle nearly to the death. Sung has the opportunity to kill Song-woo, but he refuses. He then begs his old friend to join him in calling for the games to end. Song-woo then stabs himself in the neck and asks Sung to use the prize money to help take care of his mother. Sung is returned home, and he's bestowed with a debit card which houses his massive winnings that he views as blood money. Sung then learns that while he was away, his mother passed away. 1 year passes, and Sung receives an invitation to meet with the mysterious figure behind the games. This individual is revealed to be none other than player 1, the old man himself.
왜 그런 짓을 했어?
The old man explains that he crafted the games as entertainment for the wealthy. He selected games that he himself played as a young boy. After a tense back and forth between Sung and the old man, we see the two enter a wager that no one will help the freezing, unhoused person sitting on the sidewalk. Just before the clock strikes midnight, a good Samaritan returns with help for the man, reinvigorating Sung's faith in humanity and in himself. But the old man dies before witnessing this outcome. Sung keeps his promise to Se-byok and rescues her brother. He asks Song-woo's mother to look after the boy while he travels travels to the US to see his daughter. He also leaves suitcases full of cash with her, fulfilling the dying wish of Sung-woo that his mother be taken care of. As Sung walks through the airport, he sees the same man who recruited him to the games playing the slapping game with another person, recruiting them for the next game. Sung runs in to intervene, but the man is gone by the time he arrives at the other platform. Sung is only able to retrieve the card with the phone number for the games. The front man tells Sung to get on the plane and leave the country, but Sung refuses and goes back to the terminal, now on a mission to bring down the Squid Games. Well guys, that's everything that happens in Squid Game Season 1. Big shout out to Colton Ogburn who wrote this video. You can find his social links below. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.